everyone, Fox is here and I'm coming to you from my couch again. And today I just want to chat about theater, about the plays that I'm going to see, the plays that I'm reading, and the plays that I want to read. So let's just get started. As you know, I'm a huge fan of theater, and the fact that so far I had only 2 videos on my channel about theater makes me super sad. I made a video, an introduction video to National Theatre Live that I'm absolutely obsessed with, and also I made a video review of Handman, which was also produced by Encore Live. But since then, I did see a couple of plays, and I do plan to see more. So yeah, I just decided to make this video to kind of chat about everything. First of all, I want to start with saying that the summer was kind of low for me in terms of theater going, because usually I go to theater a lot, at least once a month. But even though I did go to see Skylight, which was the production by Canadian Stage, in June, I haven't really seen anything on stage ever since. I liked Skylight. It was the second time I saw the play on stage. The first one was the production by National Theatre. I saw a broadcast by NT Live about 2 years ago, and I did enjoy the Canadian Stage production as well, and I do plan to review it. I don't think I will be making a video review. I just need to write a blog post about it, but I just wanted to, kind of sit down and make a thorough review because I had a lot of thoughts and I wanted to compare those two productions. Obviously, the Anti-Life one had amazing Bill Nye in it, and I did love that production a lot. Canadian Stage was also very good, but it had some flaws, and I want to discuss it in my post. However, I haven't done that yet, but I promise I'll do it very soon. Another thing is that I want to read Skylight before I actually write a review. I did plan to read the play before I go to see it for the second time. However, what happened was I requested it from the library and the queue was so long and the wait was so long that I couldn't get it. I didn't want to spend $15 just on a play, so I kind of canceled my hold for it at the library, and I went to see the play and I did enjoy it. But now, before I write the review, I actually want to read the play. That's why I decided to purchase it. Yes, I placed an order at Amazon for a couple of plays that I decided to purchase to have, and all of them are productions of National Theatre. One of them is Skylight by David Hare. As I mentioned, another one is Treasure Island, and that is the production that I saw only once, and it was really good. I don't like Treasure Island. Just for the record, this is probably one of my least favorite books ever. I cannot really explain it. I don't know why, because I saw different adaptations of it. I saw a movie and something else, but that was the very first time I've ever seen a production on actual stage, like a play. And they had a bit of gender bender there because the main protagonist was not a boy but a girl in this production, which made it super interesting. That's why I decided to purchase the script for that play. So it is not just like a novel or a story or something. No, I actually ordered the specific script for that play by National Theatre. And the third one that I decided to purchase was Coriolanus by Shakespeare. Even though I do own Coriolanus in a very nice adapted and annotated edition by Royal Shakespeare Theatre, or Royal Shakespeare Company, RSC. I like that edition a lot, but I decided to purchase this one just because I'm hoping to get a bit of a more insight into the production. I saw production by National Theatre, also thanks to Anti-Live broadcast. That production has Tom Hiddleston as Coriolanus himself, and he does an amazing job. And what I liked about the production the most, and I think I mentioned it in my Anti-Life introduction video, was that it was done on a very small stage. So they staged it at Donmar Theatre, which is really tiny, and the audience was sitting just around this sort of rectangular stage, and basically it felt as if the audience is part of the play which is not, but they were so close to the stage. They were basically just a couple of feet away from actors, which I thought it was very interesting. And also because the stage was so small, they didn't have that many props, they didn't have any decorations or anything whatsoever. It was just very, very simple. And there was a lot of action because Coriolanus is a tragedy. Whoa, I cannot talk today. Coriolanus is a tragedy, and it's about a very strong and powerful leader who is a very, acclaimed warrior. And because of that, there were a lot of battle scenes and fighting, and also persecution and law and everything. It was really good. Mark Gatiss is also in that play, and Mark, as you know, is Mycroft in Sherlock BBC, and I love him. He's so witty and sarcastic, and I think that role in Coriolanus was very much him as well. So yeah, I decided to buy this text as well. I hope that it will have more footnotes from like production and everything. So I'm looking forward to that. And as we are on the topic of Shakespeare right now, I wanted to mention you the production by Canadian Stage, who do Shakespeare in the Park every single year. And this year they're doing Hamlet and All Is Well That Ends Well. I want to see both plays. I admit I've seen Hamlet more than once, and I've seen different productions of Hamlet, and I've seen the one with Benedict Cumberbatch by National Theatre, which I absolutely loved. But I want to see the production by Canadian Stage as well. And I decided to purchase tickets for not only just the play itself, but also for a backstage tour. I think it's gonna be amazing. I'm looking forward to it. So I'm going to see it in 2 weeks, and then the same week I'm going to see All Is Well That Ends Well with my friend. I think All Is Well That Ends Well is actually one of the least known to me plays by Shakespeare ever, because I've seen a lot of plays on stage, I've seen a lot of production in the movies. But this one, I basically know nothing about. I only know that it's one of the most problematic plays by Shakespeare because it's very difficult to define whether it is a comedy or a tragedy, and that intrigues the hell out of me. I honestly do prefer to watch Shakespeare plays on stage first and then read them later, and the reason for that being because sometimes getting through Shakespeare language can be a bit intimidating, and it's not just about the language itself, it's just about the way you interpret things. I do appreciate reading footnotes and annotations and editions of Shakespeare plays. I do like that. However, I prefer to see them on stage because this is the way for me to take into the actual meaning of the play. I do know that different productions and different directors and also different actors kind of emphasize things differently. However, I still think that the general meaning remains the same when it comes to delivering the lines, and I do pay attention to actors, the way they talk and the way they deliver their speech, and that is the most important part for me. I do love seeing props on stage, and I'm a huge fan of National Theatre because I know that they always do crazy stuff on stage. There is fireworks, there is like fire, there is rain. They do everything on stage, and also they are stage dependent on the theater because sometimes revolves around, so you can see how things change very quickly from one scene to another. I love it. I absolutely love it, but at the same time, delivering the lines is the most important part, and this is what I pay attention to. That's why I prefer to see plays on stage first when it comes to Shakespeare and then read it later. However, I had a lot of experiences, for example, with Twelfth Night, which is one of my favorite comedies by Shakespeare, which I've read multiple times first before I actually saw it on stage. Nevertheless, in this case, All That Ends Well All Is Well That Ends Well is the play that I'm not going to read before I see it on stage. Well, I obviously read Hamlet more than once, and I did it for school, and I know Hamlet as a play really well. I also saw it on stage multiple times, as I mentioned before. That's why I'm not really, worried about Hamlet. I will be definitely paying a lot of attention to the production itself, and also the fact that I will be able to go backstage and see things. The backstage is incredibly thrilling for me. And when it comes to the other play that I'm going to see, All Is Well That Ends Well, I have never read it and I have no intention of reading it first. Depending on whether I will like it or not, I may read it later on, but right now I'm okay with just knowing nothing. I know that it's about a woman who is in love with some guy, but he rejects her, so she goes to the king to present herself as a healer, and she promises to heal the king or she will die. And then something else happens, and I think she's forced to marry the king. I honestly don't know anything about this play, so this may not be a very accurate summary. This is what I read on Wikipedia, I'll admit that. But I'm really looking forward to watching this play on stage. Besides, this is going to be a Canadian stage production, and it's gonna take place in High Park, and I've been to their productions before. This is my plan to do so before I go on vacation. So I'm seeing those two plays on the same week in 2 weeks, and then in a week later I'm going on vacation, and yeah, I'm really excited, as you can tell. Another thing that I wanted to mention is the Encore screenings of National Theatre productions. And I know I spoke about it before, but I want to reinforce it that you can go and watch National Theatre broadcasts in your local cinema theater for like 22 bucks. And honestly, it's worth it. It's really worth it. There are several plays which are scheduled for Encore screenings this summer and also till the end of the year. One has already happened, and that was the Encore screenings of The Audience with Helen Mirren. Amazing, absolutely hilarious. Unfortunately, I couldn't really go to see it again, otherwise I would have done it, and that happened at the end of July. Then they have A View from the Bridge, which is going to happen on 24th of September. Please check with your local theaters. All information that I'm giving is for Cineplex in Canada, precisely in Toronto. But they will also have screenings of Frankenstein with both Johnny Lee Miller and Benedict Cumberbatch in October. They usually do it sometime around Halloween, because they just assume that Frankenstein has to be shown around Halloween time. I don't know why, but here we go. So Frankenstein will be screened on October 29th and November 2nd. Then Anti-Life production of Hamlet with Benedict Cumberbatch comes back on November 5th and November 23rd. I have already purchased one ticket for this one because I want to see it again. I've seen it last year, but I want to see it again because it was really good. And then the production of War Horse comes back in December, and it's gonna be in Cineplex on December 3rd and 7th. I'm not sure if I'm going to see it again because I've seen it on Canadian stage and I've seen it by Anti-Life, I think twice. I loved it. It's very, very peculiar, but it's also very sad, and that's the reason. I mean, on one hand, I want to see life-sized horse puppets again, and on the other hand, it's just so sad. If you've seen the movie, believe me, the stage production is even better because it's just so imaginative and it's so musical. I just loved it. So go and see it. Obviously, these are all Encore broadcasts, but National Theatre Live brings 2 more plays on stage till the end of this year. This has been announced only recently, I believe, on their Anti-Life website, and they're not available for purchase. I mean, the tickets are not available yet, and there are no dates on Cineplex website, which makes me really sad. But according to Anti-Life website, they're both going to be screened in September. which means that they probably will be screened first in UK, and maybe a couple of months later they will come to the rest of the world, because usually, and this is my personal opinion, this is not something that is official or anything like that, this is just something that I noticed, and I think they do UK and European broadcasts first, and then maybe about a month later or maybe 2 months later they do North America. So I think in Canada we might get those by the end of the year, and I'm really looking forward to those two plays. So the first play is the Three Penny Opera by Brecht, and I read this play for my school about 10 years ago, and to be completely honest, I do not remember what it is about. I do not remember, and because of that, and because I know that I will be seeing this broadcast naturally, I decided to purchase this play, and I went to a bookstore yesterday and I got it. I got it from a used bookstore, so it was only $5. But yeah, Three Penny Opera by Brecht, and I look forward to, I'm looking forward to actually reading it before seeing it on stage. And like I mentioned before, sometimes I prefer to read the play first and then see it on stage, but it's not a Shakespeare. I don't really need, any deep analysis for this one. But I'm looking forward to reading it because I should really remember what it is about, but I don't. And it's a very funny thing because I even remember having this book on my shelf in my parents' house. I have no idea. I just don't remember a single thing from it. So yeah, what makes me very excited about this production is not the fact that I'm going to see Brecht on stage. I'm not that fond of Brecht. No, the fact is that the main protagonist will be played by Rory Kinnear. I hope I'm not butchering his name right now, and he is an Oliver Award-winning actor. He's been on stage of the National Theatre multiple times. He played in Hamlet, he did Othello, which was, he was amazing in Othello. He was absolutely amazing, and he also did something else, which is escaping me right now. I think it was James Bond, but I haven't seen that one. And he is very good. He's very good. And another thing that excites me about this particular production, first of all, is that the screenplay is adapted to stage by someone who did a brilliant production of Mark Haddon's book. I've seen that play twice, and they did an amazing job with imaginary world and the way they portrayed how an autistic boy sees the world outside of him, how he thinks in numbers, how he thinks in circles, how he basically perceives everything that is happening around him. And that was brilliant, so that makes me really excited. And the second reason why I'm so excited about this particular production is that because this play is going to be directed by Rufus Norris. First of all, Rufus Norris is the current director of National Theatre. Secondly, he did London Road, the movie, which I watched and I loved, and he did a good job with it, even though I've seen a production it on stage, and I think on stage it has kind of more power as opposed to a movie, but it was a very good production, nevertheless, a very curious one, because it involved a lot of people singing, including Tom Hardy. Can you imagine Tom Hardy singing? Yeah, I know, and I've seen London Road last year at TIFF. That was very good. And another thing is that Norris also directed another play which I saw at Anti-Live Broadcast, and that was Everyman. It was a very curious production too. I did enjoy it, and I think that if those two combine forces into this play, I can expect something really interesting visual wise, and this makes me super excited about this play. I just hope to read the play first so that I'm more familiar with the plot and I can pay more attention to the stage and the production itself and how it's directed, as opposed to actually listening to the words and seeing what is, keeping track of what is actually happening on stage. I do love doing both, and that is another reason why I prefer to see, especially the plays that affected me a lot or impressed me a lot, I prefer to see them twice, because the first time I'm paying attention to actions and the words and the way way things are delivered. I mean, the lines are delivered. But in the second viewing, I can pay attention to the production itself, the props, the how cameras work, or something like this. So I'm really excited about this one. And the second play that is making me so freaking excited that I'm basically quivering with anticipation is The Deep Blue Sea by Terence Rattigan. And I have never read this play. As a matter of fact, there is a movie with Tom Hiddleston in it, and I've had that movie on my wish list at Amazon for a couple of years now. So yesterday I just decided to go ahead and purchase it because I just want to watch that movie before I watch the play. I don't think I will get the movie anytime soon before I leave for my vacation, but I anticipate this play to be broadcasted sometime in October. I don't think it will actually come in September to Canada. So I do have time. However, I want to read the play as well. I went to couple of bookstores yesterday trying to find this play. I went to used bookstores and secondhand bookstores and I couldn't find this play. So I think I'll have to order it online from Amazon, and I also will have to go for a secondhand copy. But which makes me kind of sad, not just because I will be getting, I'm okay with secondhand books, no, it's just the fact that I have to purchase it from Amazon Marketplace, which means that it will take literally weeks or an unknown period of time for me to get the play. And that is why I'm really upset, because I want to read this play ASAP, like right now. Whew, I really want to read it. Do you know why I'm excited? I'm excited not because I honestly don't know who's it going to be produced by. The producer and director of this play is not known to me, but there are two actors in this play by National Theatre that are making me so freaking excited to see it. The first one, so the first one is Helen McCrory, who was in the National Theatre production of The Last Day of Housemans that I saw on stage 4 years ago, I think, or 3 years ago. I think it was 4. And she was in Medea, and she was fabulous as Medea. Oh my god, Medea is such a difficult play. Oh, it's an ancient Greek play about a woman who essentially kills her kids, and watching her on stage with blood on her hands was absolutely terrifying, and also so, oh my god, she was so good. I wish I had a chance to watch that play again because she was amazing as Medea. And she is also in the Peaky Blinders and in Penny Dreadful, both TV shows that I want to watch but I haven't seen yet. But she is very well known. If I find a picture, I'll post it somewhere here. I'm pretty sure you will recognize her. But she's amazing. But that's not all. Another person who is going to be on that play is Tom Burke. Tom freaking Burke, who is Athos in the Musketeers BBC TV show that I'm literally obsessed about. Can you imagine that? He will be on freaking stage in Rattigan's play that I wanted to see in probably the same role as Tom Hiddleston was in that movie. And I'm just freaking out about it. Oh my god, I know that Tom is a theater actor. I knew that, but this is going to be the very first play I've ever seen, and will ever probably see him on stage. I'm sorry, I cannot even talk right now. I'm so excited. Tom Burke is amazing as Athos on the TV show. I am obsessed with that TV show, and I have been a fan for like over 2 years. And The Three Musketeers by Alexandre Dumas is my favorite book ever. So yeah, seeing him on stage in this play is going to blow my mind. I honestly, if there is more than one screening, I'm going to see it more than once, I'm pretty sure. And I really envy all of those folks who live in London and who can go and see all of those actors on stage, actually live, and not see it like in one single or maybe 2 broadcasts a year. I really envy you guys. You're such lucky. Like, you're so I should just move to London, UK. Yeah, just move. Yeah, that's it. I'm done. I'm done with Canada. I'm moving to UK because I want to see National Theatre live, like actual live. not a broadcast. Oh, I'm so hot. Okay, so these are all my theater-related news, and I know I've been blabbing and ranting and being all emotional a lot today, but I'm so super excited. Theater is one of those things that makes me super excited, and this is something that I cannot really explain to people, and I think this is one of the reasons why when I was reading Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, I didn't really have that many problems with it, because it's a script and it's a play, and I'm so used to reading plays, and I've been really on a play reading streak lately, and I want to keep it this way, so I ordered, as I mentioned before, a couple of plays, and I'm going to order another one. I need to get my hands on the Deep Blue Sea by Terrace Rattigan, because I cannot find it in local bookstores. I want to get my hands on Gaslight by Patrick Hamilton, which I also saw on stage at Mirvish about a year ago, and I freaking loved it. And I want to read a play. I don't know why they're not available at my local library, but you know what? I want to have my own copy, so I will be waiting for those, and I will be also waiting for all of those plays that are produced, written and scripted by a national theater, and that is, like I mentioned before, Treasure Island and Coriolanus, and also Skylight, that I want to see, I want to read before I write a review of. And I know I promised you that I will do the Judas Kiss by David Hare, a complete review, and I want to do a video review, and I want to write a written review too. Oh my god, there are just so many things that I want to do that has to do with theater, and how do I find time? I don't know how to find time for this. But yeah, I'm really sorry about being all ranty here, but I hope you enjoyed it, and please let me know down below if you watched any of the plays that I mentioned before, or if you plan to see any of the plays that I mentioned. I will be looking forward to talking to you in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you very soon. Bye! Now to you guys about theater. And I think my lipstick kind of matches my owl. And also my throw here, which is awesome. I'm trying to open a website on my phone and it's just not loading, which is driving me insane. Come on. What's going on here? Both Hamlet and All That Ends Well is Well. All is Well That Ends Well. Sorry if my angle has changed a bit, but I just realized that while talking, I was repeatedly kicking my tripod, which is so ridiculous. Anyway, let's just move on. Another thing that I wanted to mention... Another...